be a very a sovereign state regarding the exploration and use of marine resources, including energy production from water and wind. It stretches from baseline out to 200 nautical miles from the coast of the state in question. So the motion is
To IDP, I think you're muted.
Afika?
Apika, I think you're muted. Or she cannot hear, is it?
Afika. I think Afika terkeluar.
Tak,
I
ada
tried-
lagi kat
Oh,
sini.
ada
Dia
lagi?
tak
Dia
ada.
ada,
I
dia
think
ada.
dia tak dengar.
Okay.
Apika.
Betul lah. Afika. Mute.
Okay.
did I read the motion just now?
No.
No.
Okay, tak apa, boleh nampak dah.
Okay. So the motion is, assuming feasibility, this house will forcefully proven to fail in managing a biodiversity ecosystem into a neutral international body. So without further ado, I would like to invite the first speaker of the house, Mr. Daniel, to give his speech. Here.
Sorry. Our opposition whip just exited the Zoom and she managed to change device. So I hope the host can let her in.
Okay, we'll wait for her before we start.
Okay, thank you. She's in.
Can I start? Am I audible?
Perfect.
All right.
Nama dia apa ya?
My name. Is it my name?
Bukan yang terkeluar tadi tu. Misha Ridwan ke?
I think Zulaika.
Zulaika is already here, right? I saw her name. I can see her name.
Yes, already in.
Okay. We shall start now.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good evening to the members of the House. We as the government side really proud to present our views to stand with this motion, which is assuming feasibility, this House would forcefully transfer the position right of EEZ, which is exclusive economic zone of country that have been proven to fail in managing their biodiversity ecosystem into a neutral international body. First of all, I would like to highlight some of the phrase in this motion. First of all, what is exclusive economic zone EEZ? So based on what is EEZ? EEZ is an area of the sea in which a sovereign state has special rights regarding the exploration and use of marine resources, including energy production from water and wind. And the second phrase, which is I would like to explain this, is about what are the example of fail in managing their biodiversity ecosystem. So this the example is, for example, is excessive logging, or they fail, for example, they fail to control the destroy of coral reef, and also they can't control the pollution in that country. And lastly, I will that's all that I'm going to explain. And lastly is about the neutral international body. So what is the international body? Is something like United Nations, who has a bigger who really can cater to this problem in the first place. So let's move on to our end goals for today's debate. So as the government side, our main goal is to each country we want each country have their own responsibility to take care of their EEZ and their own biodiversity ecosystem. If they fail, and in our side also, we believe that if they fail managing biodiversity ecosystem, how can they manage this EEZ in the first place? So, what are the stakeholders that related to this motion? First is, of course, the neutral international body, and second is society of the world, and lastly is the government of the country that involved in these cases. So let's move on to our burden of proof. First, we are going to prove to you the preventive measure, and second, we are going to prove to you the resist awareness. And I am the Prime Minister. Will explain how the thing is going to work, which is how this motion is going to work in the first place. And my second speaker will talk about how it helps propagate awareness about environmental issue. So let's move on to my point, which is how we are going to carry out this motion if this motion implement in the world. So basically, first of all, we will check the biodiversity ecosystem. What are the biodiversity ecosystems, such as pollution, or like coral reef, or something like that, and if and we also check how they take care of their own biodiversity, we also check how they cater or deal with it, and also we also take the result based on the report that have been done by the organization. So in our side, if they fail to prove all these things, our side believe that this EEZ should be transferred to the international body, which is, can you imagine that something like if they can't control the pollution in their country, so how can they manage this EEZ? Because this EEZ is something that can give profit to the country. So if they can't control this profit, so how can they manage this EEZ? So next, so however, in our side also believe that this is not for a long time, because this is not for a long time, and once the country improve, for example, like we received good reports of about their biodiversity ecosystem, which is they can control the pollution, and they have improved for example, like excessive logging, and also they also make a new improvement to their coral reef, for example. So I would say believe that this EEZ should be returned back to the EEZ to that country that we have been taken before this, because in our side we believe that international body can manage it well rather than this country. But then we don't want at the end of the day many things we don't want at the end of the day many things have many harms came out from this country. For example, that many habitat of the animal died, and many things for example like coral reef have been destroyed, because we can see in the status quo right now, there are so many coral reef that cannot live in this sea because of for example oil spill and of course the based on the marine science that say that this coral reef cannot live if the temperature of water itself cannot not suitable to this coral reef. So we don't want this happen we don't want this happen in the future. So we believe that by implement this motion, we can control this biodiversity ecosystem in the first place, and also we can take care the problem of EEZ, and we can give also we can make profit from this EEZ to the country, and at the end of the day the world can see that we are trying to give a big profit for the long term to that country. And we believe that by implement this motion, we can save everything, including the habitats and flora and fauna and also the marine and also the everything that live in sea and the aquamarine in the sea. So with that, I would like to propose this case. Thank you.
Thank you to the Prime Minister. For information, then Mr. Daniel here is from Tamhidi of Science, Physical and Technology. He loved to sing the song by Lady Gaga, Shallow. So that's why he wanted to protect the deep sea of the ocean, right? So before we move on to the next speaker, let us just invite the opposition leader, Miss Aina, to proceed with her speech. Okay, here.
Assalamualaikum, am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid a very good evening to the Mr. and Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. So the topic of today's debate is about this house, assuming the feasibility, this house will forcefully transfer the possession rights of EEZ, exclusive economic zone, of countries that have been proven to fail in managing their biodiversity ecosystem into a neutral international body. So before I start, I would like to introduce you to the members of the opposition team first. So me, myself, as the opposition leader, will be rebutting about the case brought up by the Prime Minister earlier, as well as providing our first substantive point in the terms of violations of possession rights of the countries involved. Okay, our second speaker will be giving 2 points regarding why we should not forcefully transfer the possession rights of EEZ to the neutral international body. And our third speaker will be rebutting all the cases brought out by the government side and also summarizing all the points given by our side. Okay. So first thing first, I would like to give rebuttal on the case brought up by the Prime Minister earlier. So he managed to mention that he managed to give definition and characterization on the words of the motion today, and giving a mechanism how to determine the country with possession rights as failed, and giving characterization on neutral international body, which is UN, United Nations, and also it is also about who are the countries who are not managing the biodiversity ecosystem of the EEZ. Okay, so they also mentioned that they are going to check the biodiversity ecosystem of the countries involved, and see how they cater and deal with it, and take from reports of the results in the organization. Okay, so first thing first that I would like to question is that what if the United Nations itself, okay, the countries that is being ruled by the United Nations itself, fail to manage their EEZ? So why are we giving this to the neutral international body? Okay, and also the Prime Minister, we found out that the Prime Minister also fails to provide evidences and showing how the neutral international body themselves can control and manage the pollution when the countries involved could not take care of them. Okay, meaning that there are no evidences that shows the international body is better in comparison with the countries that possess their own possession rights on the EEZ. There are no criteria mentioned, no quality mentioned that explain the proof of that neutral international body is better in comparison to the countries involved in the EEZ. Okay, and one thing that I found a bit misinformation in the speech given by the Prime Minister earlier is that about excessive logging in the EEZ. So we know that the EEZ is in the area of the sea. So there are no trees to be excessively logged in the EEZ because it is in the sea. So I think that point is really irrelevant. And instead of forcefully transferring the possession rights of these countries to the neutral international body, we from the opposition team believe that it is not to be done forcefully, but we in solving this problem, we should give them warning first instead of transferring them forcefully. Okay, so moving on to my first substantive point, it is because why we don't support the forcefully transfer of the possession rights of the EEZ, because it is a violation of the possession rights to the countries itself. Okay, we need to have so the possession that these countries have, meaning that they have control, they have the authority, they have the money to control the production of these EEZ, the exploitation of these EEZ. They have the control. So it gives them the special rights in the exploration and the use of the marine resources in the EEZ itself, in the sea, including energy production from water and the wind. And imagine if there is no possession, the possession right is transferred to either neutral international body, you can see how excessive exploitation of the EEZ can be uncontrollable because it is being easily invaded because the possession rights is no longer on the countries involved. Okay, so when the possession rights is violated, so this means that the EEZ is easily to be taken advantage by any other countries in the world. Okay, for example, oil extraction. Other countries can use this EEZ for excessive oil extraction, which is for their own exploitation, for their own goods of their own countries, and not considering about the possession right involved owned by the countries itself. So this excessive of the exploitation of the EEZ can lead to endangered of sea lives, destroying the environment, the corals, just like I mentioned by the Prime Minister. Okay, the temperature of the water. This will all cause further disruption on the biodiversity of the ecosystem in the sea itself. So we see that if forcefully transferring the possession rights of the countries to neutral international body, it is not saving the ecosystem of the EEZ, but it is further ruining it and causing it to disrupt even worse. Okay, so it will result in a more pollution. For example, if there is excessive oil extraction, there will be more pollution, more endangered marine lives, aquatic plants, the corals and stuff, and that will lead to a more unbalanced biodiversity ecosystem. Okay, so that will be a more further disruption in the environmental balance, which is we are trying to avoid, and we are trying to solve this issue right now. So forcefully transferring that will not solve the issue, but we should give warning to the countries involved so that they can manage these properties, the owns, the rights, they can manage this EEZ properly. Okay, instead of giving them, forcefully transferring them to the neutral international body, because we don't even know if the neutral international body is even have the quality themselves to not giving disruption to the economy, to the ecosystem of the EEZ themselves. So we in the opposition team believe that these countries which are involved in EEZ, which is proven to fail in managing their biodiversity ecosystem of the EEZ, should not be forcefully transferred their possession rights to the neutral international body, but instead give them warning, chances and opportunities to become better in improving themselves and develop themselves in managing the EEZ. Okay, so that is what we see in the opposition side. That is the great solution in this issue, where it will not lead to any further disruption of the economy on the environment itself. Okay, so before I end, I would like to restate my stand, our team stand in this debate today, where we strongly oppose the motion because of assuming the feasibility, because of the easiness of transferring forcefully the possession rights of this country involved, we don't stand with that, because it will not only cause further destruction on the environment, but also will lead to destruction of the world as a whole. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you to the opposition leader. Oh, I can see that Miss Aina here, she has only one direction in the debate. Why? Because her favorite songs, ladies and gentlemen, are from One Direction and Why Don't We? That's why she wanted to let the country itself control the EEZ, right? So before we, so now let's just move on to the next speaker of the House, which is the Deputy Prime Minister. Hereby, I invite Miss Shahinda. Here.
Here.
Rahim, testing. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, you're audible.
All right, thank you. Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, the problem coming up from the opposition side is their whole case is built on a flawed logic, and I will further elaborate to you why. But it is important for us to understand why it is why the current status quo is in a very dire condition, in which we need this kind of external force to countries to make sure that they will take a strong attention on environmental issues. So what is the status quo, right? We can see that a lot of government a lot of governing body of countries, they take environmental issues very lightly in return of, like, for example, economic benefits, right? We can see how people with upper hand in the country likely take issues like deforestation and whatnot, right? They question on why our PM gave the example of logging, but you have to understand that this is an example on what could lead to a biodiversity ecosystem. Our side, I've already told you that any form of failure to cater to the ecosystem of the country can cause their EEZ, this country's EEZ, to be taken from the to be taken away their possession. I will further elaborate to you why this is important. But before that, a few line of simple rebuttals, right? First, they talk about why they talk about how if we take away this EEZ from these countries who are irresponsible, it can be a violation of right of possession of this country. How can you say that it is a violation of right of possession? It is clear that this country, they aren't even able to take care of their environmental issues correctly. And then this country, they don't even deserve to have the right of possession of EEZ because they can't take care of that of them well, right? So this is why we think that it is okay for neutral international body to take over. And this brings me to my second level of rebuttal on why they ask why neutral international body is better. There's no proof that they are better in managing other countries' EEZ, right? So our answer to this is that they are better because neutral international body, they are not seeking for any other like economic benefits and whatnot. They work on a sole purpose to solve like issues within country, right? So and then they brought us problem on how other country we use this their other countries EEZ because it is under the possession of neutral international body. But this is a faulty logic. There are rules and regulation, and there are boundaries set up by, for example, UN to make sure that nobody invade that EEZ, right? So you have to understand how this works. You have to understand how policies work, and then they talk about on how this should not be forcefully done. You have to give warning first. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a global policy, right? If we were to implement this is a global policy. Every form of policy is always being distributed and announced. So in which means every country should be aware of what is happening and what are the consequences that they may face if they fail to manage their biodiversity. No thanks. So okay, right. Before my points, yes.
Okay, can you give proof on neutral proofs or evidences on this neutral body where they do not seek economic benefits?
Right. The reason why the neutral international body itself exists, right? Because they are an organization that need to work for the betterment of the society as a whole, globally, right? Because we need one neutral, because the word neutral itself, right? It shows that there are no like any other external benefit. They just want to make sure the world is in peace. And things like that. The ecosystem is being taken care well of and whatnot. So moving on to my point on how by implementing this motion can propagate awareness not only to the governmental level but also to the society, right? So first we have to understand how important EEZ is to a country. It acts as a marine scientific research and access to oil and gas, which is a very important part of the economy, right? So this is how we see the importance of EEZ can make people understand why it is important for them to take care of their environment in order not to lose the possession of EEZ, right? Because when this global policy is being implemented, right, especially regarding economy, it will trigger the government and also the people of the certain country, right? Both people and certain country will take like full attention to this issue because people will it is something that relate to their economy, right? People want to fish, people want to do research for the betterment of the country itself, right? So when this happens, people will urge the government to first first please strengthen the environmental act of the country. And because I've already told you, the status quo is that government of countries is not taking care well of these issues, right? So we need this external and also internal force from the people of the country itself to urge and to force their government to take this issue more seriously, right? And how will this be beneficial? Because as we can see right now, environmental issues movement, they are not being paid a lot of attention, right? Because there are no forces like this. So these forces is important for even for this movement to be heard and to be and it will work better and it will boost the awareness better, right? Also, people will push and advocate stronger and hands on handling this kind of issue by regulating act and whatnot. So let's see what will happen if we do stick to the status quo, right? First, destruction of biodiversity ecosystem persists. We don't see how the opposition side is trying to solve this problem, because what we can see is currently happening by sticking to the status quo is more environmental issues that are not being taken care well of, and and also we believe that without external pressure such as like a threat to take over their EEZ, there are proven to be less possibility that government of countries will take this issue seriously. So we believe in the urgency. We believe that in the importance of the ecosystem. We believe that we believe in how important this issue need to be taken care of since like in the past this is not a very huge issue that people are trying. This is an issue that is being overlooked. So again, an external force is very important considering to the fact that these countries itself cannot manage it. So with that, I would like to propose.
Here.
Thank you to Shahinda, the Deputy Prime Minister. Before we move on to the Deputy Leader of Opposition, Shahinda has something to say to you guys before the final round ends. She wants me to relay the message to all the debaters out there after this online debate competition, which is, she said, it is fine to always begin again. There's always a new day, another round, another chance to be better than yesterday. Take one step at a time. So that is actually her life motto. I just quoted from her because I think that every debaters should have the same life motto as her, right? So I hope this life motto of Indah could give spirit to the Deputy Leader of Opposition to present her speech. Hereby, I invite Ms. Amirah to give her speech. Here.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Nice. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I am the deputy leader of the opposition team. Will be proving why our team should won. And allow me to rephrase the motion for today's for this final debate competition, which is this house forcefully transfer the possession rights of EEZ of countries that have been proven to fail in managing their biodiversity ecosystem into neutral international body. So before that, I would like to address some of the points given by the Deputy Prime Minister earlier regarding the status quo that they brought up regarding the many countries that take environmental issue very lightly. So we think that this status quo can be solved by giving them warning. If we give them warning, so they can have awareness about how dangerous the environmental issue, and they are asking why we are saying that this is one type of violation towards the country. We are saying this as violation because it is done forcefully. So we don't want this country to be forcefully taken by those neutral international body, but we want to give them warning first. We want to help them first before we forcefully take them away. We are not against giving the possession fully to the neutral international body, but we are against to do it forcefully towards the country. So that's why our team, that is what our team is approaching now. And the government side also failed to supply us any evidence or any methods of how the neutral international body would take good care of those countries who fail to possess the EEZ. And that is why it is a little blurry, because and the Deputy Prime Minister mentioned about there are rules and regulations that we should have aware of, but has never been mentioned by the Prime Minister himself. So that's why we have received an unclear information by the government side. And regarding the urge to give benefits towards the country, towards both countries and societies to take good care of the environment. So again, I'm saying here, we are not against the idea of the possession is taken over by the neutral international body, but we just don't want it to be forcefully done. I hope the government side clear about that. And also, allow me to present my first point, which is forcing the possession to be given to the neutral environmental body will violate those countries involved. So why am I saying this? So we see the possession right is forcefully transferred to those neutral international bodies. So we especially, so basically here we are giving the special right to explore their marine life, to explore their marine side of the country by the neutral international body. So this will give rise to uncontrollable exploitation of their marine resources, and such as their energy production from water and wine. And also this can also give injustice towards those countries involved and the violation of their rights. And we can by taking over the possession of the EEZ, we'll also interrupt the resources of the economy, which I will be elaborating more on my second point after this. So what happens if there is injustice between countries? This will lead to riot and rivalry, as they are not given their right, because now we are forcefully trying to take away their possession of EEZ. So that is why I'm saying here, instead of forcefully transfer the possession, we should give more chance to those countries to develop themselves, which will eventually not violate any party between
Yeah, I
these countries. Allow me to finish my point first. So I'm saying here, instead of we forcefully taking away the possession, we can help them because some of the countries, they never really they are aware about their environmental issue, but some of those countries are poor and could not have enough financial supply. So instead of taking over everything, maybe those countries who are able to manage their EEZ can give financial support towards those countries, give them chance and give them some money and maybe give
BOI,
some
please be fast.
warning first, so that they can prove themselves that their country can achieve the good environment. Their country can achieve good environment. So I'm saying here that the government are too radical in giving solution by forcing those countries. And allow me to present my points, which the forcing of giving the possession towards the neutral international body can also drop the country's economy. So I will give you an example because I'm running out of time. For UAE, they have main resources of economy such as oil. So if we give the possession towards the neutral international border, we are taking away one of their economic resources, and they cannot possess their parts of the marine themselves. And even in Malaysia, we have high dependency on oil, and oil can got from the marine also. So this can lower the many country economy to its dungeon. So I'm sorry I couldn't take your POI. Maybe you can pass it to to our third speaker. So I would like to end my speech by saying that we are against the forcefully giving possession towards the neutral international body, but we prefer giving them warning and giving them help first before we forcefully taking away those possessions. That's all from me, the Deputy Leader of Opposition Team. Thank you.
Thank you to Ms. Amira for her beautiful speech. Ms. Amira said to me last year, I think, she said that her favorite song is Older by Sasha Sloan. I never thought that Mark Sloan in Grey's Anatomy has a singer as a sister. So it's quite new to me, Ms. Amira. However, she wants to reply to Indah with her life motto. She just texted me after her speech just now. She said that her life motto is greater than Indah's one. She said that her life motto is to live a life without regret. So I can see with by looking at her face that she does not regret opposing this motion. She really believes that the country can handle the EEZ better, right? So before we move on now just let's proceed with the next Speaker of the House, the Government Whip. Hereby I invite Ms. Khadijah. Here.
Here.
Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We meet again this afternoon or evening, I'm not sure anymore. So I think it's still afternoon. I did a very, never mind. A very good afternoon to the honorable judges, to the chairperson, to the vigilant timekeeper, to my fellow opponents and my fellow friends, and last but not least, members of the hall. Okay, so today our motion is that assuming feasibility, This House will forcefully transfer the possession rights of EEZ, the exclusive economic zone of countries that have been proven to fail in managing their biodiversity ecosystem, into a neutral international body. Ladies and gentlemen, why we from the government side are bringing this motion today? Because according to the status quo, that a lot of countries are not really prioritizing the environmental issues in the world today, and even in their own countries. So as our angle today is that we want to preserve the environment and actually protect it, we think that it is better for us to actually forcefully transfer the possession rights of the the exclusive economic zone to the neutral international body. Okay, since we believe that it can curb these environmental issues. Okay, so from your side, you say that so you are against this motion. Okay, you don't want these EEZ to be forcefully transferred. Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, I think everyone has seen the news. Okay, there are wildfires going on. Australia has been burned down. Wildlife and habitation has been destroyed. India's pollution problem, 80% of India's water is terribly polluted. Have you seen the river, Ganges River, and how they are still bathing in that, and how they are not even having drinkable water? Okay, and even in Malaysia, we were affected by the fire that was caused by Indonesia, that 2015 horrible smog that we had to go through. Okay, so that is why we find this as a sense of urgency. And what the opposition is living is that I don't think maybe they've never gone out of their room, maybe they've never experienced the outside air, maybe they've never cared about the environmental issues, because they think they can still stick to the status quo and that they can only give simple warnings. Ladies and gentlemen, we have international treaties, the law that governs the sea. Okay, we already have that. And that is under the UN. We have the International Tribunal Law of the Sea. And we already have actually warned them. We already give them chances because they are also involved in this treaty. Everyone has been given this EEZ, right? And when they are given this EEZ and they have given these special rights, they are obligated to protect it and to commit to the terms and conditions that they have got when they get this EEZ. So when you say that this is a violation of their rights, you need to understand that this is actually what they are doing is actually the violation of the rights of other countries, of the global citizen, of the whole world. Because what they are causing is this detrimental effect to the environment, and that's why we have this global warming issue. And you say that we can warn them, we can give them chances, we can give them funding, okay? We can maybe give them money. Okay, I think you have known about the Paris Treaty, right? Where they have this convention where countries are put responsibility, are promising each other that we are going to take better work care and we are trying to reduce the carbon emissions in the air, in the environment, okay? But they already have funding. With those countries, they are actually funding, okay, each other. And when you say that they are not given money and they should be given help, they are already being helped. And when you say that they should be given chances, they already have chances. But the thing is, they are ignoring it. And that's why we understand that we believe that we need an external force to actually push these people into understanding that you need to take care of environment. And if you cannot take care of your own environment, then we will take care of it for you. And it's not even a bad thing. Okay, one more thing that you say that, okay, the economy will be stilted. Okay, there's also this one thing, okay? For every country, there's territorial waters and there also EEZ. The one we're issuing here is the EEZ. Territorial waters we cannot touch, okay? But still the EEZ zone is still larger it's still larger from the territorial waters, okay? So it's okay. If you're saying that it's tilting the economy, they actually do have their own sources, but that is what we are trying to implement, and that is what we are trying to raise the sense of urgency for them as well. If they are thinking that we want to protect this economy, that you cannot do that because you're going to block my economy from thriving, then that is what we are trying to say. If you want your economy, if you actually prioritize your economy, then you should prioritize your environment as well. And if you can do that, then we can return it to you. And that's all. This is just a preventive measure, okay? Like when you say that we shouldn't do anything forcefully, okay, I think you understand what law is, okay? Law, you have this set of laws that you have to follow. And these countries have actually put themselves into the situation where they are obligated to follow that anyway. Okay, so when you say that we are taking them from them forcefully, then in Malaysia, when somebody has actually broken into somebody else's house and then we put the criminal into jail, is that forcefully and violating the rights of the criminal? No, it's because they have violated the rights of everyone, of the person that they have broken in the house, the person of the house they have broken into anyway. So that is why we think that the opposition doesn't understand the sense of urgency, that the opposition is just trying to put aside, and I don't think they are actually understanding the urgency of the issue right now, okay? And that's why we say with this motion, when we implement this, countries will be more aware. And even if they do fail to manage, and although this is a preventive measure, when they know that they cannot fail in managing their biodiversity, they will take better care of it in fear of this easy zone being taken away, okay? But even if they do fail to manage, what, like when you say like this will constrict their economy, right? So when who are governing the economy? Of course, the business person, right? Even this group will then urge the government to take better care of the environment. And isn't this propagating awareness? Isn't this a good thing? And so that is why from our side, we believe that the best case scenario is that this can then protect our environment, that can preserve our environment, can secure our environment and actually propagate awareness better. But in the worst case scenario, it's a simple short-term delay in the economy, but they can then gain the economy back when they have taken better care and are promising to take better care of their biodiversity ecosystem. Okay, that's not a problem. But when in your case, the worst case scenario that can come from your case is that pollution is still happening and it's still going rampant. But the best case from your scenario is still the same. It will still go rampant. And okay, I think that's all for me. I should not overlimit the time. I have never been prouder to propose. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to Ms. Khadijah for that very convincing speech. So for your information, Ms. Khadijah is from Tamhidi Syariah and Undang-Undang. No wonder why she knows a lot about laws. I bet she will be a good lawyer one day after she finishes her degree. But what's interesting is her nickname is KD. We just can call her KD after this. And for information, the competition we have for the past 3 days is organized by Club Debat USIM, which also stands for KD. So after this, if you are reminded of KD, just remember Club Debat USIM and also Miss Khadijah, all right? No wonder why debate runs in her blood, right? So before we, so let's just move on with the last speaker for the whip round. I'll invite the opposition whip, Miss Zulaika. Here.
Thank you, Ms. Chairperson. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I will summarize the debate and explain why my team won. First, I will rebut the other team's argument. Then, I will reinforce my team's points and explain why they still stand at the end of this debate. First, I would like to restate our stand, which is we do not support the forceful transfer of possession rights of EEZ of countries that have been proven to fail in managing their biodiversity ecosystem into a neutral international body, and this is due to some reasons. And here I have found the clashes of this issue is the government said that they want to transfer the possession right to neutral international body due to the pollution caused by the specific country that possess the EEZ. But they fail to tell us how the neutral international body can guarantee to control the pollution at the EEZ then. When here, from our POV, we see that when we transfer the right to neutral international body, it will bring more pollution because without a rightful owner, there will be uncontrolled exploitation of sources at the EEZ by other countries. And that will cause more pollution because there will be oil spilling, there will be oil extraction. Oil extraction will cause a lot of pollution, and then the sea life will be endangered when the excessive sea life catching is undergone.
POI, please.
That will destroy the ecosystem more. And how the neutral international body can guarantee the control of pollution, I ask you again. And if we do not transfer the possession right, they can have control over the economic activity that specific country going on in EEZ compared to when EEZ does not have a specific owner. And instead of forcefully transferring the EEZ, we propose that we can give them a warning, like our LO said, so they are aware of the destruction they do and they can overcome it for the sake of international relationship. Yes? Quick.
Okay, sorry. So are you saying that this country that has already failed in managing their biodiversity ecosystem can manage things better than body like UN?
Yes, we think they can if they are given the chance. And by the warning, like I said before, they must want to preserve their international relations, so they will overcome it. Okay, and then I would like to rebut the DPM, which say that EEZ is important for economy, but say neutral international body do not seek economic benefits. Well, from what we can see, they forcefully want to transfer the possession right, shows how they desperately want to exploit EEZ. And for what? Of course, it is for the economy. And then how the opposition want to solve the solution? Well, we have said that the LO said instead of forcefully transferring the possession of EEZ, we can give warning to the specific country. Okay. And then from the opposition view, there is no urgency from the side of government, and they do not understand the topic clearly, as they give logging as an example, which we do not understand. But we clearly see there is more harm done by forcefully transferring EEZ to neutral international body, like we said before, in terms of pollution. In fact, if many countries cause even greater pollution in EEZ, how the neutral international body can handle it compared to only one country who did that, which is the rightful owner of the EEZ.
Yeah,
and then if transferred this, sorry, I only accept one POI. If it is not only transferred, the specific country which own it can counter the small scale of pollution. That is, of course, because not all country can exploit the EEZ then. So it will be more easier to counter the pollution. And then from the government way, she said that she gave an example which we do not really understand with they use a robber as an example. From our point of view, we can see that the neutral international body is the robber. They force the possession transfer. And yes, it is a violation of right. Since you mentioned it is not. From what we see, it is the violation of right, and we believe it is. Next, I'm going to reinforce the point given by my second speaker of opposition, which said that it will cause a significant drop of countries' profit, because when they can, when the specific country who own the EEZ can be given a chance to turn the table around, instead their EEZ is taken away by force. They will lose a lot of country profit, because in EEZ we know that there are a lot of economic activity going on. For example, oil extraction, for example, seafood catching, and then they will cause a lack of marine resources, country profit. That will be bad on the country itself. And then of the violation of the country's right, like mentioned by my first speaker, yes, it is indeed a violation of country's right, because like I explained before, it is forcefully taken by the rightful owner, when the rightful owner can be given a chance to turn the table around. And the country, the specific country has lost control over the money, over the activity that can be done at the EEB. That is what we call. So, to sum it up, I would like to stress that we do not support the forceful transfer of possession rights of EEZ of countries that have been proven to fail in managing their biodiversity ecosystem into a neutral international body. Thank you so much.
Here.
Thank you to opposition whip. So Zulaika, she said to me that she planned to go snorkeling and scuba diving last year, but because of COVID, she had to postpone it. Until today, she doesn't get to experience snorkeling or scuba diving or kayaking. So that's why she doesn't want the neutral international body to take over EEZ, because she's afraid that the right for her to go snorkeling, the right for her to go kayaking and also scuba diving will be ripped off from her. So thank you to opposition whip. Now I'll give what the House will give 1 minute for each reply speaker to prepare their speech. The timekeeper could share us with, the screen. 1 minute starts now. The time is up. So without further ado, I'll invite the opposition reply first. Here.
Can you hear me? Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm the deputy leader of the opposition team. We'll wrap up this whole debate competition debate session in regards of the EEZ on whether we are against the forcing of those countries who fail to possess their EEZ to being forcefully possessed by the natural international body. So allow me to highlight the main theme of today's debate, which is the environment. We want to reach the safe environment, the clean environment in the community, in our nation. But no countries deserves to be violated their rights and to be violated but no countries deserve to be violated in their rights and the economic resources. So regarding the environment, we are not against the reaching of towards the better environment. There's no because from what we see, the when we let the neutral international body to take over the whole possession of this country, there's no exact authorities to handle them, and this will lead more to the pollution because there will be abundance and no one to take care of them. And that's why we are urging them to being warned and given help first. So if what if there are many countries who do not adjust with good possession of EEZ? Then does the neutral body are able to handle all of those countries? And still, the government side still does not give enough mechanism on how the neutral international body are going to take care of the possession of EEZ on this country. What kind of action, progression will they do? Yeah, the government say that they are going to handle them, but how? They never say what action they are going to take. But instead, we from the opposition side think that through warnings, we can provide them effective solution and implement them to clean up their sea, and maybe compensation of fines and punishment. And if they fail to do so, then we proceed to forcing them to be given fully possession towards the neutral environmental body. And from what I see here, the government team themselves did not understand this issue clearly, because the main issue here is all about oils, spillage, coral, disturbing marine lives. That is all matters in EEZ, not logging or wildfire, which does not has anything to do with EEZ. It means that EEZ does not has responsibility on the wildfire or logging, because they specialize in marine only. And as conclusion, at the end of the day, both teams' objectives are to reach the safe environment. But we from the opposition side think that our method is better, because we were giving them chance. We were giving them supply to save the environment themselves, and we were giving them supply to save the environment themselves without neglecting their rights, their country's right and economic resources. And with that, I end my speech by highlighting that we from the opposition side prefer the possession of the EEZ to not be forcefully given to the neutral international body, but we want to give them warning or help first before we undergo the forcing method. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Amira, for wrapping up the case by the opposition team. Last but not least, I call upon the reply speaker from the government team, Ms. Shahinda. Here.
Here.
Hello, I am audible and clear, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, sorry, I have to check. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, what we can see throughout this debate that came up from the opposition side is that they are saying that the country or the government with already failed that have already failed in tackling environmental issues, countries that have already done overfishing, countries that have already destroyed the coral reef should be given chance to handle their EEZ, because under their side, they believe that they have the potential to do so, despite all the proof that we can already see in these kinds of countries. But before that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This will be my last speech on this tournament, on the UNC Cup tournament. So I hope everybody would listen loud and clear, right? So moving on to my reply speech, right? I will first highlight the flaw that came up from the opposition side. From even the very get-go, even from the first speaker, they actually do accept our proposal after all. They are saying that you can take it easy, but you have to give warning and you have to give chances to this country first. But they do agree that neutral international body can take EEZ from countries. That is the first flaw. But second, they repeatedly talk about how this country, they deserve chances, they deserve warning. But we told you, when a global policy is being implemented, the warning is already there, because every country is supposed to be aware of this kind of policy, right? You are talking about giving chances. We have already told you how chances have always been there. There've always been chances for you to correct or to take care of the environmental issue of your country. We are so the fact that every kind of these chances and warning have already existed in the status quo and it is not working at all. This is the reason why we believe to forcefully take this EEZ from countries that have been proven to fail to cater to their biodiversity and ecosystem problems is actually acceptable and is very justified under our case, right? Their third flaw is that they try to narrow down the debate by only questioning a single word, which is the word forcefully, in which the reason why I would like to thank them for agreeing that it is okay after all to give EEZ to this neutral international body, which help us more, right, in our case. And then they also talk about, okay, there's a clash of point on how both sides talk about on how important EEZ is in terms of economic benefits of the country, and also on how like marine experimental things and whatnot, right? But this is the reason why we believe we should forcefully threat these countries that we can take over, we can take possession of your EEZ if you are not taking care of your ecosystem well, right? Because when everybody know how important EEZ is, everyone know the cruciality of having sole possession of your EEZ. This is where it lead to our points on how it can propagate awareness better. It can help. It can force the government to take better and like stronger action on their environmental law and environmental act, right? They can regulate the law better. This is why we have been repeatedly told you that this kind of force is important, because without the existence of the force right now, the world is being disrupted by human beings, right? So which points that we have already catered, right? We have already catered to all their questions, and there's this also they also talk about how no one can take care if it's under neutral international body, but we have already told you that this is a well-managed big organization, right? We have already told you that they can control the boundary of this. My first speaker have already carefully told you how it can control the boundary of the sea, and how the EEZ can be given back to the country if they have already improved in terms of their environmental issues, right? So at the end of the day, who actually solve environmental concern better? Opposition is trying to stay in the status quo, right? In which we can see that there are excessive fishing and there are coral reefs that are being disrupted. And with this status quo that they want to stick, they want to give even more chance to these countries to take care of these problems, right? And under our side, we see that it is a dire situation. It needs force, and we have to stop these rampant disruption issues. So with that, I would like to propose.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Indah, for the last speech of the House. So that is all for this round's debate session. The final round, I congratulate the debaters for great performance and great speeches coming from you guys. And I also thank the adjudicators for their assistance, and not to forget the audiences that had watched our live session in YouTube channel. So before we dismiss, is there any last word from the Chief Edge, maybe, to the debaters?
Take picture.
Take picture. Yeah, we should. So maybe all Edge and debaters can open their camera.
Let's take picture.
We have 5 minutes before 4, so we have time. Who wants to help taking the picture? Who can help taking the picture? Najmi, can you?
Masih. Boleh.
I'm using another device that I'm not familiar with, so cannot.
Okay, ready everyone? Pose. 1, 2, 3. Right, next pose. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay, thank you all of the participants in today's final round.